So what I'm going to do with the pole, I'm going to reach across to the far side to catch myself as I go. About 18 inches, 20 inches up, both poles above. I'm going to lean forward, and I step, I'm going to pull down so it's not all on that knee. This direction over there, and find a place to set up the camera and the tripod and shoot the rest of the video. Hey, good morning, Mark here. Talked about hiking poles on the Facebook forum and what they're good for. I've been using them for a long time. Been using poles since I've been skiing back, so 1970 when I first started skiing. Anyway, poles are a great idea. Good for old people like me because balance, timing, things like that start going off. I'm 70 and I'm still here doing this. These help a lot. They help from crashing. And I'm going to give you a little talk about them and tell you what's going to go on, why I like them. The main thing is when you're walking, you got 2 points on the ground, 2 feet, 1 feet, 2 feet. With poles, you actually have 4 points on the ground. Okay, so you could be stretched out. Thank you. Flight path for Sky Harbor. So you can be stretched out and still be fully suspended. I did something wrong there, and at the end of this video somebody can find out what I did wrong using my poles. I'll give you a $5 gift card to Dutch Brothers or wherever. Anyway, poles. It's known biomechanically. I'm a mechanical engineer, has nothing to do with this, but I understand the concept, and so do most other people. When you are using them to climb and walk, to take loads off your leg, you can take up to 25% or more, depending on the situation, off your legs and lower body. So it's really a body saver. It can prolong your hikes, help prevent injury because you're not overstressing. There's a couple places where I came up over here behind me on the hill that is like a 2.5 foot step that they put in the normal steps, and nobody can make that step, so everybody goes around. But there's another step that's about 18 inches, and these actually help you get above there. So basically what we're going to do is, there's 2 types of poles, 3 actually. These are adjustable, so they have a cam lock. You twist and they come in and out. These are my Lecky Super Makalu. I don't know how these wireless mics are picking up that jet or not the first time. Anyway, my Lecky Super Makalu poles, I've had these for over 20-25 years. They're bulletproof, they work really well. They're adjustable in 3 sections, and what I like about these is if you can see how that is compressing, watch it say the stop max there disappear. These actually have springs in them. I don't know if anybody's making that anymore, but from a standpoint of actually having some shock absorbing, I love these damn things. There's a fixed length pole, kind of like a hiking staff, and there's ones that are adjustable lengths like this that actually have a little lever lock that's on my tripod right now that I can't show you because I'll show you later on. But anyway, lever locks instead of these. I've had no problems with these. I've been in water, snow, dirt. You have to keep them really clean, so kind of consciously, you know, make sure you take the dust and stuff off them. And then there's materials. Aluminum is the most popular. It's lightweight, it's inexpensive relatively to make versus carbon fiber. And what I like about it is it's very damage tolerant. Carbon fiber is lighter, it can be up to 50% lighter. You're going to pay about 50% more, 50 to 100% more for carbon fiber. But the aluminum poles, I've 20 years and I beat the crap out of these things. There's some of them are bent because I've fallen against them and stuff like that, but they work really, really well. And then so my preference is aluminum, cheaper, easier to get into, and if you break one of these, you're not going to cry as bad as if you break a carbon fiber pole. Tips and baskets. This is the tip here on this one. It's a circular conical tip, hardened, and you can see there's not hardly any damage on that tip at all. very small basket. These aren't, unlike snow skiing, the snow skiing baskets are meant like a snowshoe to provide support. These kind of in sand maybe, but really not used. I have the tip here. There is a rubber tip that you can put on for sensitive areas. If you're walking, who knows where, across your hardwood floor, you want rubber tips instead of that. They've got rocking tips. So for Arizona hiking, I prefer the carbide tips. The new Lecky poles, I went to look for the ones with the shock absorber in them, and I didn't see them online, but what they do have is that in this section here of near the basket and the pointer, they have a compressible rubber sleeve like the cheap mountain bike shocks on the fronts. They're elastomers. So they've got this elastomer shock absorber, which is better than a solid pole. Trust me, anything that you can do to absorb that load, the vibration will help cut down on the load. So we've covered the material adjustability types, and now we're going to do the grips. Lecky is great for their cork grips. This grip, this 20 years old, looks brand new. It's a kind of a cork hybrid polymer. Really, I love this grip. It's very ergonomic. It fits my hand well. It's got slight forward cant to it, which helps you when you're swinging and walking the pole. Let's see, what else? So you've got rubber grips. Those are okay. They're on the lower end poles. Nothing wrong with those. You just find that even with bare hands, the grips on the Leckys or basically any cork pole, even with sweaty hands, is far superior to the rubber grip. Sometimes I wear, like on this trip up the mountain this morning, it's about 45 degrees. I didn't wear anything else. I wear a thin pair of Nike or Under Armour hiking gloves that go on here, just a kind of a minimal layer because I didn't want to dress up too much. Straps. All right, the strap on every pole is adjustable. This one here, there's a dial on top that I can tighten it up and loosen it and adjust the length of this strap. Let me wait till this jet goes by and we're going to go into the next segment. Straps. All right. The proper way to use a hiking pole is not like this, not like this, not like this. The proper way to put the strap on the hiking pole, and I've learned this from years and years and years of skiing, is you put your hand up through the strap and then around the grip. So again, hanging loose, and you can see how it's kind of set up for my hands. 25 years of hiking with these things. So hand comes up through the bottom, twist, and then down over the top. And you may ask, why would I do that? Well, there's a reason I do that, is because I can literally still have the pole, drop it and scramble using my hands if I need to. But then as another point is I can literally take my grip. I'm going to lean all of my weight into this pole. I can literally take my hand off the grip and it's still supported by the strap coming around underneath. So even if my hand is injured or whatever, I just don't have a full grip on it, it's at a weird angle and I can't get a solid grip, this strap is still, I am putting literally 50, probably 100, at least 100 pounds on that pole. So that is a reason you do that with all ski poles and hiking poles, is you grab that like that, because it helps you support when you're climbing. Because I can literally have my hand off here and pull down on this and literally push myself up, give myself that extra boost climbing up, as if you had something underneath you, just like the rails when you're hiking on the trail. All right. Another thing on these, you'll see it in the video. I shot a video on the way up here this morning. They tell you to move the poles when you're hiking to go. If I'm going with my left foot, I take my right pole out, and if I go with my right foot, I take my left pole out. Yeah, that works sometimes, but you'll find out, you'll see in the video, there's a cadence that you can get into. whether you're walking flat, the cadence is different in hiking uphill. When you're hiking uphill, like I was on part of this section, I hope it comes out on the video because the camera was on my head. When you're hiking uphill, if the pole is, so I'm going to take a step, and when I take a step, can we see this? And I take this step, I'm going to bring this pole hiking uphill no farther ahead than here, so I can push as I go uphill, and that's the key to going uphill. Downhill the same way. I want to be able to stretch out in front of me, and again, use your straps. I want to stretch out in front of me, so that's what I could do with a pole. I could have my feet, from rock climbing standpoint, feet perpendicular to the rock is better than this. So if I can smear here by doing this with my pole, I can do that. Plane's coming, and we'll go on to the next thing. Busy day in Phoenix, Final Four this weekend. All right, length adjustments. Technically, when you're walking on level ground, you want the pole, I shortened these up for this video, here's the one that's not shortened. When you're walking on level ground, I want my arm to be somewhere at a 90-degree angle. And I found this distance, just slightly less than 90 degrees, better for me, and I'll tell you why at the end of this. So technically, level ground here. Walking downhill, you would want to extend the pole 2 to 4 inches longer, because going downhill you need to be able to reach out longer, so you're going to extend the pole 2 to 3 inches longer. Which section should you extend? The larger diameter has what we call a higher modulus of elasticity. It's harder to bend. Smaller, harder, easier to bend than this piece, but less harder than this piece. Always make your length adjustments at the top. Again, on mine, I'm on my Lucky's, what's the total length of this pole? Anyway, I'm at 140 centimeters, and it says stop maximum. That's where I always, and there's an indent there, I can feel that catch. That's where I lock mine in. Any of my adjustments I make come at the lower section of the pole, because this is stronger than this. If this is way out, this is way weaker. This is way weaker, sorry. This is way weaker, extended longer than this section is. So basically, again, for me, just a little less than 90, because I don't adjust mine going up and down. I found a length that works well for flats, that works well climbing, and works well for moderate inclines down to where I don't have to reach a long distance. It's really steep up to where I may be doing more scrambling than poles, they're going to be shorter. So it's one of those things, you'll know when to use them and then when not to use them. The good thing about my Osprey backpack is that I've got a section on the outside here that I could put my poles on and collect and lock them right to the backpack, and I don't have to worry about carrying them if I don't want to. You can shorten them all the way up to where it's not too bad that you could stick them in your pack, or sometimes see people walking down the trail with them behind their head. This is actually the gold Lecky carabiner that came with the Lecky poles, and sometimes I walk it, and this is on my chest strap on my right hand side here where my electrolyte bottle goes. I'll just stick them in and shorten them up and put them there. You have to watch out for the tips. That's why using the Osprey's external pack, they've got a loop down here at the bottom that the poles go in, so that you don't have to worry about them sticking anything. So that's a good feature of the Osprey. I'm sure other backpacks have it too. So one of the last things I want to so cadence, you'll see the difference in cadence in the video I shot on the way up here. I'll run another one on the way down again just in case I didn't get the other one. One of the last things that you can use this for is a medical splint. If you fall and break a forearm, stand by, jet airplane. All right, medical. If you break a long bone, humerus, forearm, and you don't have a SAM splint, if you don't, you should get one and carry it with you. Very lightweight piece of aluminum, about 3 feet long. It's got some foam on it. It's about 3 to 4 inches wide. They're made to use as a splint. Elbows, arms, shoulders, forearms, upper arms, femurs, tibias. They can help splint the limb. The way you could use these, and I'll stick a couple photos in the video you're going to see, you can use with tape. If you don't travel with duct tape, at least some type of tape. I don't travel with duct tape camping unless I'm going on an expedition type trip, but I usually always have a roll of 2-inch cloth athletic tape. Always. Blister control, everything else, fractures. You can use these things on an ankle, so where you could actually put this past the bottom of the shoe, and if you did it correctly and the person only had a lower ankle injury, you could transfer the load literally from the ankle with this below there by attaching it to the leg in a specific way. I don't recommend you experiment with that. That's for the advanced. But if you have a patient that is somewhat ambulatory and they can walk but can't touch down, poles on both sides strapped to that, complete immobilization is the best thing. And if you're not experienced moving somebody with medical injuries, don't do it. Anyway, poles, very good to have. I love them. I usually carry them all the time unless I'm going on something flat. Like I said, they strap to the side of the pack real easy. They snug down, they go inside the pack. There's collapsible ones that they use for certain races they come down in sections like that. Very expensive, not adjustable, fixed length. So again, poles, yes, use them correctly. If you got any questions about this or the video use, shout and I'll answer you. If you have any criticism, great, put them up there. I really don't care. This is poles according to Mark, and this is the way I do it. And if you don't try this at home, kids, your mileage may vary. So all of that happy stuff, but I'm done this for a very long time, and this is a very sound way, in my opinion, to accomplish using the poles, and they work well. And if you find something to improve upon a technique, or you find something that works for you, shout out and let me know. I'd like to see how you're using it. If there's something you're doing, let me know. And don't throw this little thing away. This looks innocuous. You think it's just there as part of the display, just to hang them on the rack in the store. You will kill yourself if you get rid of them, because if you look at the ends of the poles, they all have holes in the baskets. So if I take both of these poles and do this and then that at the basket level, and then up here, now I'm dealing with one package. Now you can pop them apart, but don't throw this away. Very important. Later.